her mop. Why the redoubtable Mrs. Wellington should put up with such behaviour was beyond him. Then he realised that he himself had shown cowardice. He knew Mrs. Gillespie to be a gossip. Everyone in the north of Scotland gossiped, but Mrs. Gillespie was malicious. If there was anything bad to say about anyone, she would say it. He felt he should go back and order her out, but as he gazed out over the still sea loch to the forest on the other side, a feeling of tranquillity overcame him. He watched seagulls squabbling over the harbour. Behind him, peat smoke rose lazily from the chimneys of the little whitewashed cottages along the waterfront. Lugs lay across his boots, and Sonsey leaned against his uniformed trouser leg. The great thing about the peace of Lochdubh, thought Hamish dreamily, was that it acted like a balm on the soul. The guilt and worry about that letter from Elspeth faded away. As for Mrs. Gillespie, let her get on with it. There wasn't much at the police station that she could break. It was autumn in the highlands of Scotland, and the rowan trees were heavy with scarlet berries. The locals still planted rowan trees outside their houses to keep the witches and goblins at bay. People said, as they said every year, that the berries were a sign of a hard winter to come, and therefore they occasionally got it right. Pale sunlight glinted on the water of the loch. A seal surfaced and swam lazily past. Hamish felt suddenly hungry. He decided to put his animals in the police Land Rover and motor up to the Tommelcastle Hotel to see if he could catch a sandwich from the kitchen. Hamish was met in the foyer of the hotel by the manager, Mr. Johnson. "What brings you?" asked Mr. Johnson. "The only murders here now are the fake ones on these murder weekends where everyone gets to play Poirot." Hamish did not want to say outright that he would like something to eat, so he asked instead for news of Priscilla. "Still down in London?" Mr. Johnson eyed the tall, gangly figure of the red-haired policeman suspiciously. "I suppose you want a cup of coffee?" "Aye, that would be grand," said Hamish. "And maybe a wee something to go with it." "Like a dram?" "Like a sandwich." "You're a terrible moocher, Hamish. But come into my office and I'll send for something." Soon Hamish was happily demolishing a plate of ham sandwiches while surreptitiously feeding some of them to his dog and cat. "Did you come up here for a free feed?" asked the manager. "I've been driven out of my station," said Hamish. "I won the services of that Gillespie woman in a raffle." "Oh, my. Couldn't you get rid of her?" "Too scared," mumbled Hamish through a sandwich. "The trouble is," said Mr. Johnson, "that nobody wants to go out cleaning these days. Now that the big new supermarkets have opened in Strathbane, they prefer to work there. The staff here is mostly changed. Most of them are from Eastern Europe. Mind you, they're good. But those names, all consonants. Who does the Gillespie woman work for these days?" "Let me see. There's old Professor Sander at Brakey, also in Brakey Mrs. Fleming and Mrs. Stiles, then Mrs. Wellington here, and a Mrs. Barrett Wilkinson at Steyr." Steyr was a village to the south of Lochdubh. "I haven't been in Steyr in ages," said Hamish. "Why not? It's on your beat." "I'm thinking the whole of damned Sutherland is on my beat these days. Besides, there's never any crime in Steyr." "By the way," said the manager, looking slyly at Hamish, "we've a booking for Miss Grant." Hamish pretended indifference, although he could feel his tranquillity seeping away. "Herself must be earning a fair whack to be staying here," he said. The Tommelcastle Hotel had once been the private residence of Colonel Halberton Smythe, but, faced with bankruptcy, the Colonel had turned his home into a hotel because of Hamish's suggestion, although he still claimed the bright idea had been all his own. The hotel was one of those pseudo-Gothic castles built in the 19th century when Queen Victoria had made living in Scotland fashionable. "Not bothered about her coming up?" asked Mr. Johnson. "Not a bit," lied Hamish. "I'll be off. Thanks for the sandwiches." He hung around the village until he saw Mrs. Gillespie leaving. She drove off in her old battered Ford. Filthy smoke was exiting from the exhaust. Hamish stepped out onto the road and held up his hand. She screeched to a halt and rolled down the window. "Quit! Your exhaust is filthy. Get to a garage immediately and get it fixed, or I'll have to book you." By way of reply, she let in the clutch and stamped on the accelerator. Hamish jumped back as she roared off. Back inside the police station, he looked gloomily around.